Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Chris, K-R-I-S, and today I want to talk a little about Dragon Ball. If you haven't been on Reddit, or you haven't been on Twitter or some other website, you probably don't know it yet, but Dragon Ball Z has just been given a TV series sequel. So that means, due to the success of the new movie and the one before it, Battle of the Gods, Akira Toriyama decided, you know what, maybe Dragon Ball shouldn't stay dead, which gets me excited, which is great. As a Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z fan, that's fantastic. But it's also made me worry a little bit. Is this coming back just for money? Is it coming back because he has some passion again? I don't really know. But what I'm going to talk about today is just briefly on what I want to see from this new series, and a bit of what I don't want to see that maybe ruin Dragon Ball Z in a few ways. This is a calm versus calm fight, by the way. I'm not playing. I tried to do this while playing. I wasn't able to concentrate on anything. I just wanted to win. But let's just begin on what I am expecting to see from this new series. The first thing the only thing they really talked about was that they were going to bring in villains that were stronger than Majin Buu and Frieza. Now, when they said Frieza, do they mean Frieza's new fifth form from the new movie, which is as strong as, or at least a little bit weaker than Goku's Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, which is a mouthful, and we'll get to that in a moment. Or do they just mean Namek Saga Frieza? I'm thinking they're going to mean stronger than anyone we've seen before, which brings up a big concern. I don't want to see endless transformations. I don't want to see Goten and Trunks as Super Saiyan 3s. I don't want to see everyone as a Super Saiyan God, you know? I don't want to see Krillin and everybody like that pushed into the background even more. What I do want to see, however, is more focus and more direction on story and minor characters from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z that didn't get the light they should have, you know? And I'm not just talking about Yamcha, whom I love, and Krillin and stuff. I'm talking about characters like Android 18, who, when she first showed up with 17, was an amazing character, and she remained an amazing character throughout the rest of the series. However, as soon as she was spat out by Cell, it's like she became damaged goods, and she wasn't worth showing on screen anymore. Why wasn't she involved in any battles? She would have been much more useful in the Majin Buu Saga than Krillin was, but she was just, just redirected as a mother, as someone. Did Yamcha lose that fight? Alright. As someone that was just going to be in the background, she became Bulma, she became Chi-Chi. And I don't want that. I want to see more Tien. I want to see Android 18 do something. I want to see Piccolo not be a babysitter. Do you realize the last time Piccolo got any good screen time was during his fight with Android 17? You know how long ago that was? During the Majin Buu Saga, he did nothing. So, my first big hope is that everyone that isn't Goku, Vegeta, or Gohan gets some appropriate screen time, or just a couple of wins, you know? Give them a henchman to fight, let them beat the henchmen, and I'll be happy. That's all I want. The second thing I want to talk about is I want to see a lot more focus on martial arts. I don't want what became later on in the series from basically, I think, midway point Android Saga. It just became Ki Blast after Ki Blast, and by the time the Majin Buu Saga was around, people didn't even have their own moves anymore. It was just a Kamehameha after Kamehameha. You know, the Majin Buu versus Goku fight, which pick anyone you want in that saga, aren't as good as, Goku versus Master Roshi in Dragon Ball, or Goku versus Vegeta in the Saiyan Saga. And I want to see more of that come about. Now, the reason that probably happened in Dragon Ball Z was because of budget. It takes a lot more animation and work to have a character throw 15 punches and kicks than it does have him just fill up the screen with a big bright blue ball. You know, that's a lot more money saved. But because Dragon Ball is coming back in such a big way, and because the movies have been such a success, I'm hoping that the animation studio isn't going to cheap out, and we're going to get to see some of those amazing fights. Because if you've seen Battle of the Gods, the little combat they showed in that movie, which is still my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie to date, the little combat they showed was fantastic. It was brilliant. I loved it. It was so subtle, yet it was effective. And when they did fire a ki blast, it meant something. You know, that is what I want. I also want to see maybe characters like Teen Gotex. Can we get that? Or you know what? Simply Teen Goten and Teen Trunks. I guess it'll depend on how long this series is going. But after watching Battle of the Gods, I gotta say, hey, when the hell are these kids going to get older? Now, one of my favorite things about Dragon Ball GT, which I usually hate, is that they really nailed the adventure aspect of the beginning of that series. You know, before Baby showed up on Earth and stuff, when Goku, Trunks, and Pan were traveling the world, the universe, I loved that. Because one of the best things about Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, mainly Dragon Ball, was the sense of adventure. We got to see Earth in Dragon Ball. Goku was going to new places all the time. And occasionally, he'd come back to West City to hang out with Bulma. And then they'd hang out and they'd go on an adventure together. And that'd be great. Then Dragon Ball Z comes along and they go to Namek. Now, Namek is probably, definitely my favorite saga. And one of the reasons it's my favorite saga is because they're on a different planet. The color palette, you know, everything was kind of green and aqua colored, and you see a single image of Namek's surroundings, and you know what series that's from. You know it's Dragon Ball because it's so iconic now, and it stands out. And I want to see more of that. I want to see new planets that look so much different to Earth, but yet familiar in a way. I want to see. You remember that episode Dragon Ball GT? One of the few good episodes. You know, I didn't like that series at all, but this was such a good episode where Goku, Pan, and Trunks end up on a planet where there's like a king or something, and he's raising the taxes of everybody constantly, and you just see these families, and they're out in the rain with nowhere to get shelter, and they're starving, and Goku gets so angry and he attacks the palace, and he takes down that dictator, and he kicks the crap out of the bodyguard. He didn't need to go Super Saiyan 3 for that to be interesting. He didn't need to kill everybody for that to be interesting. It was the sense of adventure, the sense that this story now had a bit more meat on it. I want to see more of that. I want to see somebody, maybe it's Goku, maybe it's somebody else, but I want to see them come across a village or come across a town or a planet that needs their help, that doesn't require them to stop somebody that wants to blow it up. Every villain wants to blow up a planet. You don't need that. You don't need that to have a good story. You don't need that to have great content. You know, it wasn't until Frieza or Vegeta came along and tried to blow up the planet in his enraged moment that that become a norm. Before that, we had tournaments. I want to see a new tournament. How great would it be to see a tournament where Goku doesn't win? Like, he only ever won one tournament, but we're kind of expecting him to get to the final. What if he got knocked out in the quarterfinal, and the final was, like, Vegeta versus Gohan? Or Piccolo versus somebody new? What about Oob, a teenage Oob fighting a teenage Trunks? That'd be pretty cool. You know? Expand. Bring more life. You know, Star Wars is doing it. Star Wars has always had that, from the fan fiction to the novels, where they took these stories and these characters and they gave them maybe bit roles, but they create this universe that's so large and so full of depth that you just love everything about it. I want to see more of that. Maybe Goku should still be the main character, but sit back a little bit. Maybe not be in the forefront so much. Maybe not take the limelight so much. I know a lot of people are always like, I want to see Vegeta win more. I want to see Gohan win more. And that'd be great. but I also want to see Piccolo. I also want to see Launch. Launch needs to come back, man. I don't care if she just randomly shows up without any reason. I want her back. I want her to stay. I want her to show up just as much as Bulma and Chi-Chi and anyone else that isn't a normal combatant. I want her back, and she needs to freaking stay on my screen. I loved Launch in Dragon Ball, and she just disappeared in Dragon Ball Z, but she came back in Son Goku and Friends Return. She was just there in the background, like, hey, what's up, Launch? Where you been? I want that, and that'd be fantastic. You know, just a little bit of Launch. You know, why not? Oh, Yantra didn't die. Great. I thought he was dead. Though one thing I don't want to see in this series, that made me so depressed watching GT back when I seen that as a kid. I don't want my characters to be old, or at least I don't want their mortality and their age brought up, because that's just depressing. Nobody wants to see their heroes grow old and die. Do you remember Metal Gear Solid 4? Anybody? Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to see Krillin with grey hair and a mustache dying of old age with arthritis. Nobody wants to see Piccolo look all withered and tattered and sad. Nobody wants that. Nobody. So, if you're going to age the characters, at least age them correctly. At least have them still be there. Maybe a few grey hairs, you know, because it's just natural. But don't make them appear to be battered and over the hill. It's like there's nothing wrong with having grey hair, but if you're bending over with a hump on your back and a cane, that's where I have an issue. Youth is strength. Youth is life. Youth is power. Youth brings that essence to a series, to anything. You know, whether it's TV, whether it's real life. You know, there's a reason why the cut-off date for many TV presenters and stuff when it comes to internet related business is like 32 or something, because 15, 16-year-olds don't want to see 40-year-old men and women telling them their gaming news. You know, watch any gaming channel on the internet. Where did Jessica Chobot go on IGN? You know, so I want my characters, if they have to age, at least don't make them seem old. Just have them there and just forget about it, alright? I don't know. I'm just a bundle of thoughts right now. It's very hard to be coherent and be straight with my mind right now. Straight with my mind. With my feelings on this. I'm just worried that it may be just a cash-in and it will be half-assed and inconsistencies. You know, if it's full of plot holes, I'm going to be pissed off, because then it can't count as anything if it doesn't make sense. What do you guys think? What do you want to see from Dragon Ball Super? Do you want to see a new protagonist? Do you want to see Goku to remain the #1 guy? Do you want to see more characters? What kind of fights do you want? You want more ki blasts? You want more martial arts? Do you want to see them leave planet Earth? Do you want to see them travel the world some more? Any old characters you want to see return? Do you want Cell back for a series? Do you want Majin Buu to be evil or whatever? You know, what do you want? If anything were to happen, I'd like to see Bardock. I want to see Bardock and King Piccolo. King Piccolo is the coolest fucking Namek ever, if only for his height. His broad ass shoulders and his height make him so freaking cool. He's like 9 feet tall. I want Piccolo Jr., our Piccolo, to grow that tall. Change his character. You know, just say he grew up. He's only like 3 years older than Gohan. There's a bunch of stuff. I might make, when my thoughts are with me, I might make a sequel to this video, a part 2. So I've been your host, Chris, K-R-I-S. If you like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on Dragon Ball Super, and I will catch you next time. I might make more stuff like this also. I might make more kind of vlogs. I used to make vlogs, but I might make it with game footage these days, because I missed them. Bye, and thank you for watching.